So the party's going on, we're all flying, everyone's just off the bar, it's proper happy days, we've smashed it, you know what I mean? So Dex is like pulling me to the side, saying, well, what do I have to do? I'm like, what do you mean, what do you have to do? He's like, lad, how can I be a part of it? I'm like, what do you mean, lad? I'm like, lad, you are a part of it. He's saying, I know, he's like, but, you know, lads, I can't just like start doing all the things you do. And I'm like, why, what do I do? Like, he's like, you know, I'm just running around, just putting people to bed, and I'm like, oh, lad, you've got this all wrong, you know, what are you on about? He's going, I know, lad, but he's like, I haven't got it in me. He was like, lad, I absolutely cars it before in the car. He said, lad, I'm still shaking now. I'm like, lad, pull yourself together. He said, but what if there's comebacks? I'm like, listen, there won't be comebacks. How can there be comebacks, lad? How can there be comebacks? The car's gone, Bally's up, lad, there's no comebacks. He's going, so that's just it, you've got away with it. I'm like, yeah. He's going, but how do you know? I'm like, lad, because I just know. The only way we can get nicked is if someone grasses on us. Now look around you, think anyone's going to grass on us? He's like, no. I'm like, well, there you go then, so what are you talking about, lad? He's like, is it just that easy? Well, yeah, it is, lad, but in the wrong hands it wouldn't have been, because if it flapped, and, you know, when we were getting chased, it could have flapped, it could have crashed, and it's not as easy as what we made it look like, but this is what we do, lads, you know what I mean? So you've come along with us, you've seen it all just go off, and you're like, you know, you've seen it yourself, lad. He's just like, lad, I know he's going, but lad, you know, I don't even want to go to work no more. I'm like, lad, you know what, I'll bear that in mind, Say to me, well, can I just stay with you for a week? I'm like, yeah. I said, but are you going to do whatever I'm doing? He's like, yeah. He's like, lad, whatever you're doing, I'm doing with you for a week. So I thought, alright, what's going to happen this week? So Macca's birds on the phone, I'm like, where are you, what are you up to, where are you? He's like, I'm in Scouts. He's like, what are you doing today? I don't like it when you're with him. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, she will now, won't you? When he goes back with that big crazy bag of cash, mate. So he says, we like, can I take one of these old doors? I'm like, of course. I'm like, I'll take one each, all these, yeah. I said, but lad, just be careful getting back with it. So he's like, alright. So we carry on party, mob me and mob are having a little one-to-one, and it's just, you know, it's just boss vibes. He's going to be, lad, nice one for Benjamin, and I'm like, no problem, lad. I said, you know, lad, I can see no gain you were there, lad. He's like, lad, I'm game for anything. I'm game for him. Like, lad, I'll bear that in mind. So I'm thinking, do you know what? Let's knock the dust off our little blags now, do you know what I mean? Let's get back to it, because we hadn't done nothing for ages, do you know what I mean? We've just been doing the graft and all that, but, you know, just there's faster ways to make dough, isn't there, if you're up for it? And, you know, come by what's going on tonight, everyone's up for it. So I'm thinking, this is going to be a belt of this. Let's see what happens now. I know Taylor, remember Taylor, there's all that off the dam. He's been on me telling me there's all kinds of graft going on as well. So I'm going to have to link up with him soon and see what he's saying, do you know what I mean? So the party's just carried on till the early hours of the morning. Everyone's like starting to crash out. Everyone's like all feeling sick. So it's all lemos. I was like, lads, where am I sleeping? I'm like, just sleep where you want. Just no one bother me. No one come in my room. Do what you want. I don't care. Yeah, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to bed. So I just grabbed a little bit of lemo, took a bevy, got upstairs, stood on the phone talking to all kinds, you know what I mean? Stay with you, and I can hear them laughing and all that downstairs. And you know what, I'm buzzing because we've had a proper touch. It was a silent little touch there. And we've got to weigh the lad in whose graft it was, you know, the lad who worked in the bank, we've got to weigh him as well. So we're going to leave him for a few days and let him come to me, do you know what I mean? I'm going to start blowing up because I don't know what's going on, whether he's been dragged in for interviews or whatever. He probably will have, obviously, do you know what I mean? Because look what's just gone on. So I thought I'll just leave him and I'll let him come to me, do you get me? So the next morning comes, everyone's awake. I've just woke up, it's like, comes downstairs, what's happening? Everyone was like, what's happening, lad? Like, go on, we're going to bail now. I'm like, go ahead, sound it. So everyone's just getting off one by one. Comes to about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, levies on me. I'm thinking, I said, what's happening? He's like, what's happening? He's like, where have you been? I said, where have you been? He says, lad, I was in the lakes with me birds. I said, yeah, I just got back. He said, yeah. I said, where's Toshi? He went, I'm going to grab him now. I said, yeah, come to mine, I've got something for you. She's like, what? I said, I've got a little present for you. So I thought, you know what, I'll give these a few grand here. So I've only got 10 grand each for them. And I thought, I'll wrap it up and put a bow on it, just like, so they don't know what's going on. So I ended up looking around and I find this Christmas wrapping paper from Christmas, proper months ago. So I put 10 quid in each parcel, wrapped it up, sellotaped it, put a bow on it. Yeah, because that's what I'm like. It's, you know, they should have really been on the grab me, but they wasn't invited, but they still get a cut of it, only because we're the friend, and that's how we roll. So I'm sitting there, I thought, you know what, air the dog, let's have a brandy and a little stripe. So, you know, I've been up for a few hours now anyway. So I'm sitting there, so I has a little stripe, I has a little brandy, the gaff's like, the gaff wasn't even that bad to be honest, but I'm just tidying round, you know what I mean? Next thing, sees the car pull up, like, what's happening? So he's in his Bentley and he, with him, comes in, what's going on? I said, what's going on? I said, I've got a present for you there. I said, what is it? I said, yeah, one for you. So I look at it like, what is it? I said, a present for you. What are you on about? Why is it in Kimbo paper? Just open it, lad. So he opens it, 10 quid each, and then he's just like, lad, what's this for? What have you been up to? What? And then Levy goes, that was you, lad, I've seen that in the paper, that was you. Go, why wasn't I in on that? I said, because you were out the way with your bird. So I was like, what about me? I said, lad, I said, you could have been anywhere. You said, it wasn't my graft, lad, it was bent on it. By you, I said, I'm not telling you. I said, it doesn't matter, lad. I said, there's 10 grand each, yeah. You know, happy days. you've had a little cut out of it. He's like, how much did you get? I says, well, more than that. Like, lads, how much? I said, well, more than that. Like, oh, lads, you're a rat, you. I said, shut up, lads, I'll give you a little piece of the pie, haven't I? I said, you wasn't even there. Do you know what I mean? You wasn't even there. I said, be happy with your piece of the pie, lads. Do you know what I mean? And now, you got to remember, Levy got me a bottle of Louis X, didn't he? So, like I said, I do things for him. So he's got me that. Look what he's got back. Do you know what I mean? Not because he got me that, but that's just how it is, do you get me? So what he gives me, he gets tenfold back anyway. But it's just nice to get praise off the lads, isn't it? You know what I mean? And Tosh was going, he didn't even invite me when Levy comes down at night, and he's just sitting there on the Louis and all that. I'm like, lads, shut up, lads. Stop being a bitch, lads. You were out, you were doing stuff and all that. But oh, shut up, lads. So me, Tosh and Levy sitting at the table having a little stripe, you know what I mean? It's only must be about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Phone's ringing. And I'm thinking, who's that? Answers it. Who is it? It's Chris. It's only Chris. Where are you? He's like, I'm in Liverpool. I'm like, where? He says, oh, I just got off the plane. And he said, what happened there, lads? How were you out this early? He went, oh, ended up paying them dough, didn't I? He said, they let me out early. He says, oh, I'm done with all that shit. You know, he said, you were right all along. I said, yeah. He went, where are you? I said, in mine. I said, Tosh and Levy's like, I'm coming to yours. I said, get some man now, like, get some man. I'm like, no way, here's Chris. He's like, where's Robbie? Oh, he stayed out. What? I said, when was the last time you seen Robbie? I said, I haven't seen him for a few days, you know what I mean? What's going on with him? And he's going, no, I don't know. I think he just still thinks he's dead. Well, that's what he said to you. I said, tell him to behave. I said, get him on the phone. So Tosh phoned him. Like, where are you? He's like, all right, lads. He says, yeah, get some man now. He's like, what's going on? We're like, come here, let's go. So we're sitting there, little hours gone past. Next thing, Chris turns up. There's Robbie as well, so Robbie and Chris's club. So that was me, Tosh, Robbie, Chris and Levy. Now, there hasn't been all of us in the same room for months. It's been months since we're all in the same room together, do you know what I mean? And you know when it's just going to be one of them days where you're all happy and you're flying and all that? Like, you should have seen the size of Chris. Chris had said, if I'm like, lad, how are you that juiced up? He went, ends up being mates with this kid in there, and then the screw in there. Now we started paying him and he started bringing his old juice in. He's been bladding in the gym. I'm like, lad, you're looking proper well there, you know, lad, looking hench, lad. He's like, do you reckon? I'm like, yeah. I said, oh, either that or you've got a t-shirt in the dryer. So we're just partying. No one's got nothing to do. Next thing my phone goes, and it's Ryan's my brother, yeah. We call him the celeb, we call him Mr. Hollywood because he lives in Florida. He's been there for like the last 5 years with his birth. He moved there with his kid just to get out of Liverpool, do you know what I mean? Because he's a heavy boy, this kid, you know. Proper Ryan is a heavy kid. Maybe not so much now, but in the day, you know, while we were growing up and that, he was just one of them kids, like, he's never had a stripe, he's never had a Gary, he's never smoked a biff, he's just never done anything, doesn't drink, he's just a proper gym head, proper martial artist, right? Mate, he's heavy, he's who I don't want to fight with, you know what I mean? He's who no one wants to fight with. And guess what? He's like, what's happening, lads? I said, what is happening? He said, I'm coming back over. I said, when? He says, I'll be over next week. He said, I'm staying for 3 months. I said, obviously, you're staying in mine. He went, yeah, obviously, lad. I'm like, go on, sounds who you were. He said, I'm not bringing me bird or the kid, lad. So I'm thinking, this is going to be interesting because he hasn't been seen about for ages. You know what I mean? Everyone's always asking me, lad, how's your kid? Or, where's Ryan, lad? How come Ryan? She never said him, like, I haven't seen him, lad. I haven't seen him, do you know what I mean? But, mate, I haven't seen him for ages. Listen, I haven't seen him for he moved there about 5 years ago. Then he come back about 2 years ago. And then I just haven't seen him since. I've spoken to him on WhatsApp and all the rest of it, obviously, you know what I mean? But I haven't seen him for ages. So my ma will be buzzing because my ma hasn't seen him neither. So this is going to be good. Listen, this is going to be good, you know. And everyone likes him as well. Levy, Tosh, Robbie, Chris, they all love him, do you know what I mean? He's one of the lads, he just hasn't been seen for ages. So I'm like, what is all doing tonight? They're like, lads, we'll stay here. I said, yeah, everyone's staying here. They're like, yeah. Tosh is like, lads, anyone been in my room? I'm like, no, just looks at Levy. Levy looks at me like, shh. I'm like, you little shit house. He was all like, fronted the other day. So I never said nothing, because I know Tosh will get on anyway. But Robbie's like, oh, lads, I've got a bail. I'm like, why, lads? Why are you spoiling? He's like, what? I'm like, lads, Chris is here, Degs here, Levy, me, you, lads, you know, lads, we're all here. He's like, I know, lads, I know. He's like, lad, but tomorrow I'll catch you. He's got something to do tonight. And Levy's just like, lad, he's absolutely completed grinder, that's right. Like, go on, Sam. So he gets off. So like, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to go and see a few people and that. They're like, what for? I said, only 11, lad. They're like, come here, we'll get with you. So I'm thinking, no way. So I said, yeah, we're going in your car. So we're in Levy's Bentley, yeah. So we're 5 up in Levy's Bentley. And you know what? So Deggy's in the back with Chris. And it's just like one of them mad, like we all haven't been together for ages. So we're flying down, seeing a few people and all that. So then we get to my other mates. And my other mate, he's like sort of our mate, you know what I mean? He's like, lad, come in. He's like, no way, what's that, Levy, what's that, lad? Tosh, like, lad, all the boys, like, yeah. He's going, who's this? I'm like, this is Degs. He's like, who's Degs? I'm like, lad, some kid from Manny. He's like, lad, why you rolling Manx? I'm like, nah, he's one of my best mates, lad. He's like, is he? Yeah. So Degs all like, hello, mate. I'm like, lad, chill out, just get in now. So we all go in this gaff, yeah. And as he walks in this gaff, this kid just like sort of like he just goes white. So I'm looking and I'm thinking, why is he just going white there? You know, like got his head buried. So I'm thinking, who is that? So I don't want to start wrecking the gaff, but I need to know who that is, because what's he like? I said to Lev, go and look around the house and see if there's in his house, lad. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, so Levy's like, what do you mean, lad? I'm like, nah. I was like, some kid's just gone white in that guy in the living room there, you know. So the lad whose house it was, he's me proper mate, you know what I mean? I know he wouldn't do like that, but you just, you know, you've got to be careful sometimes, especially when I go into parties and all that. You don't know who's lurking in around the corners, and it mightn't even be nothing to the lad who's blinded. He mightn't even know about it. So I've gone in and been like, what time? So put this light on, and I've been like, who's he there, lad? So the kids look like that. So the kid, I'm looking, I'm thinking, I don't even know who he is. I said, Tosh, come here, but I said, do you know him? He's like, no. So I shouted, Levy. So Levy comes down and said, do you know him? And Levy went, oh my God, you little fucking rat. You little lad, he owes me though. So I've been like, yeah. So the kid has just gone, brrr. Now the lad whose house it is has just run over and just put the kid out. And I'm like, what? And the lad's mates, they're all mates. Like, this lad who's done something to Levy, he owes him dough for whatever, he's their good mate. So our mate, whose house it was, he's put him out. So I've looked at the lad, and the lad's looked at him and lad, is that sorted? So I've looked at Lev, and Lev's like, yeah, why not? I said, sound. So I'm like, sound. So he's smacking him, sat him up to wake him up and all that. The kid's just like, and the lad's mate goes, and what's do that for? He went, lad, listen to me now. Better I did it than him, yeah. So I'm like, Lev, let's go. Lev's like, hang on a minute. I'm like, nah, let's go, lad. You know, cause murder in here, lad. I said, you know, he's done what he's done. The kids had the crack. And Lev's like, I know, but I'm like, lad, just get out. You know what I mean? He's like, lad. I'm like, just get out, lad. So I'm like, yeah, they're going to scatter, lad. So I've been like, lad. I said, what a fucking mad one. He's going, lad, I'm gutted. That's just happened there, you know. He's like, I haven't seen this for days and all that. I'm like, no, he's going, tell Lev, that's not to me. He's like, lad, Lev knows everything, lad. Don't worry about it. See you later. Yeah, gets off. So we've got a few people to see, you know what I mean? Like a few people, about 5 people on. So these like the minimum we do is like Endies, you know what I mean? That's the minimum I'll even be asked with, you know what I mean? We don't do like all like 350s or like that. So it's like Endies, you know, bottle of waters, half horses, whatever. So Lev says, we lads will be out for a bit. I said, yes, if we don't get a skin out, we go and see a few people. He's like, go on, sound. So Tosh is just laughing his head off. He's like, lads, like the old days. And I'm like, yeah. And Deggs is just like, Deggs is just, I can't believe I'm driving around selling drugs. I'm like, lad, you're in a Bentley. He's like, I know, but it doesn't matter. He's like, lad, you're just all ready. He's like, it's like, yeah, and Levy's like, shut up, Deggs, what are you on about, lad? And Deggs is like he's not scared of them, but he'd just rather have no confrontations, you know, especially with Levy. And Tosh is like, lad, I love Deggs. Deggs is sad. I'm like, lad, Deggs is my problem. He's like, lad, just speak highly of him. I'm like, lad, I know it. He said, you know, you've seen him, lad, you know, we were in the wedding, everything was sad. He's like, lad, but you got shot in the wedding. I'm like, I know, lad, I know. But, you know, that's water under the bridge, innit? So I'm like, Deggs is staying with us for a week. He's like, what? I said, lad, he's staying with us for a week. He's going to do whatever we're doing and all that. And Levy's just like, lad, he's going to, I can hear him saying to Deggs in the back, do you want a stripe? Deggs is like, no. He's like, have a stripe, Deggs. Oh, look at this, like, what are you on about? And Levy saying to me, lad, why do you always have to drive my car? I said, listen, lad, I said, whatever car I'm in, I'm the driver, and that's the end of it. He's like, yeah, no, he's saying, he's like, but I'm like, listen, lad, I said, you know, we could have went in one of my cars, but we've gone in yours. You're the one who's to be the big dick in your car, lad. I'm driving it, you know what I mean? He's like, I know, but lad, I'm in the back of my own car. I'm like, lad, I'm not asked what you want me to do about it. He's like, I'm like, oh, shut up, lad. I said, I'm in and out, I'm jumping out. I said, and he's in the front because he's running around everywhere. I said, you're just in the back, floating, you know what I mean? He's like, all right, sound. So he gets to me other mate. Now, this is the lad where he goes to. He's my good mate, but these don't know him. No, that's just one of them where he's like, he's not in the firm, he's got his own little firm, but these don't know him, do you know what I mean? So I said, yeah, I'll go in and see him. So goes in, knocks on the door, goes in. He's like, what time, lad? I'm like, what time, lad? He's like, he went to me, listen, lad. He said, my sister's mate's into you, you know. I said, who's your sister's mate? He's like, such and such. I said, lad, I've never heard of her. I said, you got a picture of her? He's like, yeah. I said, does she know me? He went, lad, she's seen it a few times, you've been here. So I said, oh, wait. I said, no way. I said, she's half all right there. He went, lad, but she's proper like parrot to talk to you. I said, why? He went, I don't know, lad, she just is. I said, you messing? I said, yeah, give me number. He's like, I will. So I'm like, come on, sound. So I thought, yeah, she's tidy, yeah. So, but she's one of them birds who doesn't realise that she's tidy. You know what I mean? She's just like, I don't know, she just thinks she's a blender, but she's not. She's proper tidy, do you know what I mean? So Levy and Tosh are like, yeah, come to the bar to our layer. I'm like, who's on? He's like, such and such. I said, yeah. I said, go on, sound. I said, where's the main kid who's our big mate, you know what I mean? He's like, lad, he'll be in there now. I said, phone him. So he phones him. He's like, what time? He's like, are you in there? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, sound. So we flew in, right? right now, this sounds weird and it sounds like, I don't know, like I get leaded for this, but, and I've gone to the bar, I'm like, is that? And I'm like, yeah, they're like, no money, and I'm like, do you know what I mean? So then I'll just throw $2 behind the bar for all of us, no one's asked, but the kid just has none of it. He's just like, nah, you're messing on it, lad. So I'm like, go on, son. So he ends up in there, we're just partying a little bit, and I'm trying to be like, so I'm like, Lev, you're driving home. He's like, what? I'm like, you're driving home. He's like, what? I said, lad, I've got a big bag of lemon in my pocket. I'm half cut now, do you know what I mean, on the Grey Goose and all that. And that's just how it is, lad. And he goes, yeah, lad, so you can pick and choose when you're driving. I'm like, lad, you sound. He's like, oh, you're a rat, you lad. Shut up, lad. So it's going on, it's vibing. And then next thing he gets a text out this bird who was talking about it before. And she's like, what's happening? So I thought, what's happening? So I looks at her and she's got like a profile picture on WhatsApp. And I'm thinking, oh my God, she's proper tidy. So I'm like, what's happening? She's like, oh, she's like, you know, I feel ashamed. I said, shut up, you div. I said, you know, just be yourself around me. She's like, well, I said, what are you doing? She's like, well, being out and I'm on the bevies and all that. So I'm thinking, oh, she got a bit brave there in the bevies and all that. So I'm saying to her, listen, let's just see what it's like tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? I said, you're all like happy now, but you know, we'll go from what you say tomorrow, you know, when you're normal and all that. And she's like, I'm not shy, lad. I'm like, all right, sound. I said, we'll see them. Right, next day, didn't even bother with me. Day after, didn't even bother with me. Day after, didn't even bother with me. She's flat when she's being normal, do you know what I mean? So then later that night, it must be at 2:30, yeah, and I'm just on my own, just in the gaff on my own. I'm at the big table, having a brandy, having a steak and all that. And I get a text saying, what's happening? What are you up to? It's that birds again. So I said, what's happening with you? And she was like, do you know what? Listen, I'm not thinking I'm on one. I'm not thinking about my own ass, nothing like that. I'm not being rude on you. But I'll be honest, I just flapped. I'm like, why? She said, I don't know. I just flapped. I just like, you know what I mean? And I was like, no, what? That's funny that, you know. I said, what's that? So I was just talking to her, and I ended up saying to her, I said, yeah, I'll tell you what, I said, yeah, I'll just put it out there now. I said, you're a bar an 8 or a 9, bevies. Yeah, but you're like normal, you're like about an 8.5. She's like, and what would you give yourself? I said, a 5. She's like, you're not a 5. I said, listen, I'm a 5. She's like, nah, you're not. She's like, you're about a 7.5. I'm like, you know what, I'll take that. That's 2.5 more than what I had to give myself and all that. So as we're getting on, we're flowing, we're vibing, you know, it's effortless, we're having a laugh, we're all just having a laugh and that. And then by the end, she's like, yeah, you've just moved up to like 8.5 there. I'm like, you've just moved up to a 9.5. And I'm like, nah, not a 9.5. No one gets a 9.5. You know, like a 9.1. So it's just proper funny, do you know what I mean? It's proper boss, and you're thinking, you know what? And I'm like, where are you from? And she ends up being from where I'm from, do you know what I mean? It's mad and all that. Ends up going to the same school as me and all that. And I'm like, no way, that's mad. I don't know you, you know. I'm like, you know what I mean? She's like, no, she's like, send me a picture. I said, I don't send pictures all over the gaff, you know. She's like, just so I said, all right. So I sent her a picture on a view once. And she's like, lad, you're tired. I said, whatever. She's like, you know, I only got to see you for 2 seconds. Like, I know, but you know what it is, I can't do all that. And she's like, yeah, he understands. So, you know, let's see what happens with that, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I'll take it out and all that. She's like, you know, let's roll. I'm like, all right. So I'm thinking, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Like, now, when I say, like, I don't really go with birds, I do go with birds and that, but it's not really my main interest, you know what I mean? Because birds are just like, when you see what car you've got and when you see, you know what I mean, you just don't know where they like you, or they just want to, you know what I'm on about, you just don't know exactly about where they like you for you, or they're just like, yeah, you know what I mean, let's just absolutely fucking rinse this kid. But, you know, I'm not saying anyone to do that, but some birds do that. I've been there before. Oh my God, I've been there before many a times. So I'm just like got my wits about me a little bit, you know, but this bird's genuine. You can tell by the way she's talking, she's laughing, and she's proper sound and all that, like a proper Scouser bird. And I'm like, yeah, I thought, you know, I'll have a bit of that. So let's see what happens with that, innit? I'm in court tomorrow. And I haven't told no one because I don't really want no one to ruin me red, because I was taking chase. I was with Steo, you know, from the Wigan division, and we ended up taking chase and all that. And we were flying just hitting 135 down the motorway. This plug car's come off one of the bridges, but he never even seen us, you know what I mean? And I don't know how he's got the reg or whatever. So I've ended up getting nicked about 2 days after we did that. I've been roped in, I've been put on like 7 delayed charges, fucking dangerous driving, failing to stop, all the rest of it. But it was a delayed charge. So with a delayed charge, you know that you've got a chance, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking, yeah, do you know what? This could go either way, so it's going to. So then it was like 5 months, 3 weeks and 6 days. So they had 1 day left to charge me. And all that I was going to let through saying you're due in court. So I was due in court. It was only the magistrate for failing to stop, which is sad. I'll take that. So as I've got there, gets the court and all that, sitting there, busy just sitting outside my court, and I'm thinking, I'm fucked here. If this gets referred to the Crown, and he starts it with all kinds of blah. So gets called in, goes to the court, no busy, turns up. What? Me brief just wipes the floor with them, yeah. lad, you're walking. And what he went, you're walking. He went, yeah, when he turns up. I went, Defo. He's like, Defo. Next thing, the course was there, what the brief got to say. And the busy, he remembered the registration plate at 135 miles an hour. The coach was like, see you later, lad. Let's go. See you later. Get out of my car room. Dismissed. All dismissed. And I just walked up and told, all those hours was me rep, yeah, chase mode rep, because once your rep gets signed and you've been nicked, people don't really phone you no more. They do, obviously, but top tier people don't. They don't. You know, if there's a major graph going on, no one will phone you because, lad, you've been nicked before, yeah.